My name is Andy, and this is the most magical podcast on earth. When I'm not on holiday at Walt Disney World, I'm planning a holiday to Disney. And when I'm not planning a holiday to Disney, I'm talking about Disney, with other UK fans like me who make the trip to Orlando and the House of the Mouse. So whether you're a parks professional or a Florida first-timer, this is the podcast for you. Each episode, I'll be chatting to other Disney superfans to share memories of their magical times, answering your Walt Disney World questions, getting you all the latest news from the parks, and finding out what's happening right now in Orlando. So get your ears on as we take you to the most magical place on earth. This is the most magical podcast on earth as part of the Secret Recordings Network with brand new episodes every other week, fortnightly episodes. On this episode, a former cast member with some great tips. Also, we've got all the latest news from Destination D23. I'm sure you're up to date with it now, but a few of my thoughts on all the announcements from the other week on the news very soon. And we have questions. If you have any questions, planning questions, whether you're going to go soon or whether you've not even booked, anything you think I can help with when it comes to your Walt Disney World holiday, do give me a shout. No question is too stupid. All the socials, which I'm not going through, but just look out for at PodMagical. That's where we are. Make sure you like, make sure you follow. That's where we are. You can DM me if you want. Leslie did that. Andy, we really want to go for the kitchen sink at Beaches and Cream. There'll be 5 of us. Can we just book a table just to have the kitchen sink, or do we have to order a full meal? Good question, Leslie. No, you can order what you want. Obviously, you can't just go, book a table for 5 and then just have 5 glasses of tap water. That wouldn't be good. But yeah, if you just want the kitchen sink between 5 of you, they'll gladly serve you that. I'm not quite sure what the price is on a kitchen sink these days, but bear in mind with anything really, if your server is not serving you a lot of food, but they're still doing the time, make sure you just give them a bit of an extra tip. That's probably the best thing to do. Any questions? Give me a shout. So we are Facebook, we are X, we are Instagram, we are Threads and TikTok. We are at PodMagical. Got another former cast member on this episode. Let's say hello to Hayley. Hello.
Hi.
So when did you work for the Mouse then?
So I was there March 11 to March 2012.
Right, okay. And go on, let me guess where you were working. Rose and Crown?
Yep, you got it.
Like all the other ones. So were you working with Adam Hatton? Was he there at the time then?
No, Adam Hatton, I think, was a few years after me. But Louise Uphill, who's done the podcast before, yes. We worked together on the same programme. So
there's a lot of questions I'm going to go ask, and I'm going to get 2 answers from you for some of the questions later on, like your favourite attraction, your favourite restaurant, as cast member and as a visitor.
Okay.
So we'll double up on those later on. But first up, firstly tell me why you love Walt Disney World.
There's so many different answers that you could literally say, but it's just literally everything about it. Like, as soon as either I've got a holiday booked or my first steps into Magic Kingdom, and when I get there, it's just like I'm just encased in this huge bubble that's just like one big ball of magic and memories, and from when I was little, or making memories as a cast member, or now making them as a mum. It's just everything. It's just so much love and happiness and magic and fun, and yeah, it's just everything, that holiday to me.
Just such a massive part of your life then. If you've been as a kid, now you're going as a mum, and you've worked there as well. There's so many memories inside that Disney bubble for you then.
Oh, it really is. And I think people kind of roll their eyes at me. Do you know, people, non-Disney folk, should we call them?
The others.
The others. The non-Disney adults.
Muggles.
I just get this eye roll now. This like, oh, she's off again, she's talking. There's not a day where it doesn't crop up in some way, or I try and get it into a conversation.
So what do you remember about the first time you went? How old were you? Where did you stay? What did you do?
Yeah, so the first visit was 94. So I would have been 6. We didn't stay in Disney at that time. So we stayed at the Ramada on International Drive. So I very vividly remember International Drive. First memories is my dad not wanting to watch the parade. And it was like, you can't, yeah. He was like, oh, we're just standing around, it's too warm. He moaned the queue for Mickey Mouse as well, and he was trying to drag us away. And he was like, I'm not staying here any longer. And my mum was like, you cannot come to Disney and not meet Mickey Mouse. Like,
Yeah.
come on,
And see
suck
the
it up.
parade. Yeah. What's wrong with him? Why did he want to go? Should have left him at home.
Oh, I know exactly. It was like, why did you come to this kind of holiday? This is what it is. I think he just wanted to go, like, he preferred Universal and Busch Gardens and things like that, and Disney wasn't very much for him.
Right.
But yeah, but one of my main memories from that is I queued up to meet Pluto, and he stole my very nice, attractive plastic pink mini ears at the time, because they were awful, the headbands then. But yeah, Pluto stole them and ran off with them. So that's one of my favourite memories from that trip.
And then how many more times did you go back before you eventually went to work at Disney World?
So before we then went, so that was 94, we pretty much did nearly every 2 years, so give or take. So probably about 6 times before being a cast member, I think. But yeah, none of them were ever staying in Disney either, because they were all very much International Drive kind of people that would stay on International Drive. So we never stayed in Disney at that point either.
And how did you get, when you were staying on iDrive, how did you get from your hotel to Disney? Because I've done this a few times when I very first started going. And we always used to find hotels that had free transport, but it was only like one bus a day. And it was like some really smelly diesel old banger that used to pick you up at like 8:30 and you'd miss rope drop and everything.
Yeah, that's the thing. So a lot of them as well now. So yeah, that was the same. You'd have your designated Magic Kingdom bus. I mean, there'd be loads to you, because obviously you're in close proximity to Universal anyway. So taxis were quite easy to get to that, especially we was at the Point Orlando area. So it was literally something so cheap in a taxi there. But we always used to get the designated shuttles, but we'd always miss fireworks because there'd never be one coming back at fireworks time, that what we found at then early on. Or I was being told by parents, no, there isn't another shuttle. They were either lying to me, saying there's not one back after the fireworks,
they
just
were
so
lying.
they could get back.
So how did you end up working at Disney World then? At what age were you? What made you the decision? How did you go about it?
Yeah, so I was 20. I think I applied the beginning of the story is that me and my mum in 2008, we went on a trip together, just me and my mum together. And we got sat next to a guy, and I'd always wanted to work for them anyway. I never thought it would ever be a possibility, but it was just, I'd love to work here one day. Like, everybody's so smiley, happy, and they love the job, and it's Disney. But yeah, we got sat next to a guy, and he was the last person in our row traveling on his own, and he had Walt Disney Company on his bag. So just was like, oh my God, do you work for Disney? What do you do? So he was telling me about the program, told me that it was you need to apply through a company called Yummy Jobs, and that they do all the recruitment for the UK in Epcot. So as soon as I think I was only 20 at that point in 2008, because he said to me, wait until you're 21. So he told me all about it, and then cut down to 2010. I finally applied through Yummy Jobs, got the telephone interview, and then got through that stage, and it was like, right, you're going to the Disney head offices. So went to that, and then had the most horrendous 2-week wait ever, but then found out that I'd got the position, or one of the positions.
Oh, right. So then what happens then? They just like go, we'll sort out your airfare and accommodation, and then you just literally pack your bags and head over to the Magic Kingdom. Is that how it works?
Yeah, no, you need to sort everything. So you get your acceptance letter, and then they tell you what date so I found out mid-October that I'd got the position, and that I was due to leave in the following March, like early March. So I think we had something like 5 months. And in that time, I had to arrange my own visa appointment in London, get down to London, pay for my visa, get accepted for the visa as well.
Yeah.
We had to do 12 months worth of holiday insurance, pay for your own airfare, and then make sure you've got enough spending money for your first few months of when you're there as well. But all the accommodation is already laid out for you. So when you get there, you've got a designated apartment that you'll stay in, that you'll pay rent for. But yeah, everything else prior to getting there, you have to sort out yourself.
And how did you feel on that first day when you got off that plane in Orlando?
It was so bizarre because it's that getting on that. I mean, the first part of your holiday is always the monorail in the airport. That is the start of it. You get on that monorail in the airport and you're like, oh, but it felt like I was home in a way, because obviously it was going to be my home for the next 12 months, but I was just absolutely ecstatic. So I'd gone out a couple of days earlier than my start date because I wanted to have a few days in just by myself in Universal and doing things like that, which I regretted in the end because I ended up ruining my visa on Jurassic Park. It completely washed away.
Oh, no.
Honestly, the picture looked like Lord Voldemort in the end by the time I dried it out. But yeah, no, it was just this sense of like, I'm home, this is it, this is where I should be. And yeah, it was just really amazing. Like, it's not just a holiday, I live here now, which was just an insane feeling.
And how long were you out there for then?
Yeah, 12 months pretty much, so just over, but yeah, it's around 12 months.
And you were in the Rose and Crown, and did you work anywhere else?
No, just the Rose and Crown. So I was a server for them. So you start off in like the little outdoor location, so like the beer cart or the chippy. And then if you want to be a server, you then have to train, take classes, and then do an exam and a test, and then they'll let you know whether you've passed or not, and then whether you get to be a server.
Ah, and is it good money? Because, I mean, being a server, I mean, you're getting all them tips. Because, you know, when we come, we're given the 22% tips. Is it?
Exactly.
Is it really good? Is it really lining your pocket?
Yeah, I mean, I'd not realised how much I actually earn because everything's cash. Like, you used to get your hourly wage, which we kind of didn't think about because it just paid off your accommodation. Because it was something like $2 an hour, I'm going to say, from what I can remember. So that you wouldn't even think about that. So everything, it's just like, it was almost like it was monopoly money because it was just cash in your hand at the end of the day. That's your money. And the night, I was not expecting this, but the nightlife side of things of a cast member was very, very active. Very
I could
active.
imagine, yeah.
I honestly didn't think that it was going to be like that whatsoever. But there was probably maybe 2 nights a week that we didn't go out. So everything was just cash in, cash out. And then at the end of the year, I got my like P60, if you will. I can't remember what it's called, American terms, but it said on it that I earned $69,000 in the year.
Whoa!
And I came home with
nothing.
£1,000.
Oh well, but a lifetime of happy memories, Hayley.
Exactly. So that was worth it. And all the trips when we got time off as well to other states, and that was all worth it as well.
So was it what you imagined working for the mouse?
So much more. Really so much more. Because you know the place that you're going to, but at that point you're still a guest before you've done any of your training or you've not got any experience of working there. So you've kind of got like a guest mentality when you first start working there. But just the freedom that they give you to be able to create memories for families and magical moments, and the scope of what they do behind the scenes to let you go and create something for a family is just so nice to be. There's no red tape. It wasn't like, oh, I want to go and get this child this thing from the shop or this item, you know, and because I'm going to do this and, you know, help them set off the fireworks. And there's just like, right, yeah, go and get it, just a manager signature and then it's done. There was just no red tape. So they'd let you, if you wanted to create something magical for a family, they would 100% support that. And even if it was monetary or, you know, fast passes or anything, it just be, yeah, there you go, it's yours. And it was just that being able to be part of people's holidays and vacations, and me potentially being memories of that they talk about now, was just beyond expectation. So
it didn't ruin any of the magic. It made the magic. You made the magic.
I mean, yeah, there was a couple of moments in the utilidoors that I was a bit, but it depends on who's listening. I don't really want to say too much, but in the utilidoors under the Magic Kingdom, obviously, is where all the cast mill about. And yeah, I saw a few. Some people weren't dressed fully
I get
should
what
I
you
say?
mean. Yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
No.
Okay. I suppose that for the first
Right.
time. But then I suppose you probably get used to it. Anyway, let's not talk too much about that. Let's talk about some of your favourite Disney World things. In fact, it's probably a good time here to do the news, and then we'll be back with Hayley. Back with our podcast guest in just a moment, but a news recap. And there's been a lot going on over the last couple of weeks. Let's go back to Destination D23, which was almost 2 weeks ago at Walt Disney World, the big Disney fan event, where there were quite a few announcements. Not massive announcements, but little announcements, enough to be massive, if you know what I mean. Fan of Star Wars, have you been watching Ahsoka over on Disney+? Well, Ahsoka will become part of Star Tours at Disney's Hollywood Studios. There will be a new adventure there. That's also going to be in France and California as well. We've been waiting a while for the Hatbox Ghost over at Haunted Mansion in Magic Kingdom. Hatbox Ghost has been confirmed to be there late November, so after Halloween, which doesn't make sense. This has got a few people rattled. Country Bird Jamboree is getting a bit of a makeover. So, yes, there has been some questionable lyrics and, time has moved on since Country Birds originally came out. I've got a lot of love for Country Birds, but I can see why it's being updated. It's getting new songs and new acts. They'll be reinterpreting favourite Disney songs in different genres of country music. Now, at first they showed clips of this. I thought, okay, yeah, maybe we're getting some new songs and kind of like a new Nashville, new country style. It's going to be an overlay featuring classic Disney songs. I would rather than go on original songs and just updated it a bit, but there'll be songs like Bare Necessities. But I'm glad the Country Birds are staying. And maybe if they get in this new overlay, maybe they could go back. I don't know whether you remember this. I don't remember this. But there used to be a Christmas show for the Country Birds. Maybe they could incorporate that with the new technology that's also being adapted. We'll have to wait and see. Pirates of the Caribbean fans, there's a new Pirates of the Caribbean themed lounge potentially coming to Adventureland. Whether that will serve alcohol, I don't know, because obviously Magic Kingdom, you can only get booze with dinner. So will there be a bar in Magic Kingdom, a Pirates bar? We'll have to wait and see. A lot going on over at Epcot. In fact, you can already meet Figment. The day after this was announced, Figment started to do meet and greets over the Imagination Pavilion. And the first day he was there, like 5-hour queues to meet Figment. Not the little Figment with Dreamfinder that you may remember first time around. This is a big Figment. He's about 7 foot tall, but you can now meet and greet Figment over at Epcot. World Celebration, the new neighbourhood, will be completed in December. So all that construction work in the middle, the crater, should be finished by Christmas, including Moana Journey of Water. That's already getting some previews. 16th of October, that will officially open to everybody. New nighttime spectacular coming to Epcot as well. That will debut on the 5th of December. There'll be lights and pyros called Luminous, the Symphony of Us. Test Track is getting reimagined as well. Test Track 3.0. I prefer the original Test Track to what it is now. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. Over at Animal Kingdom, Zootopia is coming to Animal Kingdom. So it's going to replace Bug's Life. The Bug's Life film, Under the Tree of Life, which frightens the living daylights out of me. So, yeah, maybe it's time for that to go. That's going to be Zootopia. There's also been a few suggestions that there's going to be some changes coming to Animal Kingdom. This wasn't being confirmed. This was kind of hinted at and blue sky thinking around this. So where Dino Land USA is going to be reimagined to an area that referred to as Tropical Americas. So that would incorporate Encanto and Indiana Jones. So maybe the dinosaur ride will get the Indiana Jones layover that they've also got over in California. Apart from that, one more announcement that came after that panel, Soarin' over California is going to be coming back to Epcot. This is the original Soarin'. If you remember it, you used to smell the citrus, the orange. Oh, I loved it. So part of Disney's 100th celebrations from the 22nd of September, for a few months, Soarin' over California is going to be coming back to Epcot. Yeah, the original one. No more wonky Eiffel Tower for the time being. I'd like them to keep them both on. They've got two screens there. Let's have a competition. Which one is the most popular? I think it would be the original. Away from D23, yeah, I know there's been a lot of news for this podcast. It's a bit longer than usual. We've got a little bit more information about Disney Jollywood Nights over at Hollywood Studios. We've got to see what the Latin American section of the private party is going to look like, or the Christmas parties at Hollywood Studios, and also a new meet and greet at Magic Kingdom. Well, not a new meet and greet, a different meet and greet. Chip and Dale have got new costumes and new locations. You can see those cheeky little boys over at Tomorrowland, where you can see them in their brand new costumes. Any other news, or you want to recap anything from D23, it's all over on our socials. At Podmagical. We have Hayley on the podcast. She's a former cast member. So what? I'm gonna let you answer this twice. I always ask, what is your favourite Walt Disney World memory? So what is your favourite Walt Disney World memory as a cast member, but also as a guest?
Best memory as a cast member. So as I said, like my family weren't really into staying for the fireworks. When I think I watched the Epcot Illuminations, whether it was still Illuminations in '94, I don't know. But so I'd not really seen the Magic Kingdom ones before. So when I got there, all my little training group that we arrived with, they said, "Oh, we're going to go to the Magic Kingdom after we're finished, and we're going to watch the Electrical Parade, and then we're going to watch Wishes." So I was like, "Oh, I've never seen Wishes before, and it should be good." I was an absolute emotional wreck because it was just that I'm here, I'm standing in Magic Kingdom. Wishes was all about your wishes, your dreams, and Jiminy Cricket saying all these lovely words, and I'm like, yeah, that's me. Like I'm doing that. I'm living my dream, and I was just an absolute mess, crying my eyes out, stood there and just watching Wishes, and it was just the best thing ever. So that is my favourite cast member memory.
And what about as a guest, either when you were little or recently as a mum?
As a guest, it's going to be. So the first time I took my daughter, so my daughter's 10 now. The first time I took her, she was 3. So my mum came with us for part of the holiday, but otherwise it's just me, and I've taken her on my own. But this day we thought we'll go to Hollywood Studios and we'll go and watch Beauty and the Beast, the stage show. And it got to the part where it's the Gaston being like, kill the beast and things like that. So me and my mum had already kind of been looking at each other, getting emotional, because there was 3 generations of us. My mum has took me to that stage show when I was little, when it was MGM Studios. And now, obviously, I'm here now with my daughter. So me and my mum were already getting a little bit teary, being like, this is so emotional. Like, I'm here with my daughter and it's the first time. Because I just love that show. It's one of my musts in Hollywood Studios. I always watch that show, and every time I cry, don't know why, but I do. So we were getting really emotional, and Isabel, as they said, shouted, "Kill the beast!" And it went quiet, and she just screamed, "No!" So the whole of the auditorium turned round and looked at us. So me and my mum are still in absolute bits, and she's just like, no, and they're all being all like, oh, but then they carry on looking at us being like, why are those two crying their eyes so we just trying to like cover our heads in the end, and then they all turned around. But it was just such a funny memory that I just always remember.
As you say, it's great still having stuff like that, because that's like an original attraction from the old MGM days, the Beauty and the Beast show. Is there anything that they've got rid of that you miss now, going, I wish they'd still have that, and I'd love to have taken my daughter there?
Yeah, Alien Encounter.
Oh, everybody hates that. Every time that crops up on the podcast, people go, oh, frighten the living daylights out of me. Why did you miss it?
That's the point, because I'd love to take her on it and experience what I experienced when I was 6, because I just don't think, I remember going in that, and when you go in obviously you sit in that circle, and my mum had gone in first, and I was just like, no, I'm not doing it. So I'm literally trying to run out, and as they've then closed the doors, and I was like, oh, so I had to sit down, and my mum was like, but she couldn't find me, so I ended up getting sat on my own. So it was just, I'd love for her to experience, because I tell her about it, and she goes, it doesn't even sound that crazy, or like that scary, and I'm like, okay, so I'd love to bring that back, just so she could be scared as I was.
Put her through it.
That's like really like twisted mum thing, but I'd love that.
Let's talk about some of your other favourite things. Have you got a favourite attraction?
Oh, I'd probably say Tower of Terror. I could do so many different categories and be like old attractions, new attractions. But yeah, I think if I didn't go on that, I'd be at the end of a vacation, say it was down every time we went, like, and visited, I'd be really upset.
It's usually one lift down. That's pretty much guaranteed.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that was the case the last time. It seems that it's been one lift for so long.
Yeah.
Well, since COVID, I think.
Yeah, just one going up and down. What about places to stay? Best resort?
Oh, see, I really love Coronado Springs. Regardless of its size, I just think it's such a really nice hotel. Like, it's so laid back. We've not stayed in the tower yet, which obviously we've been in it. We've been to the restaurants up to Toledo and, like the Dahlia Lounge on the rooftop and things. And that is such a luxury. You'd think that was a deluxe resort from the tower. It is. But yeah, it's just really chilled. The pool's amazing. So my daughter absolutely loves the pool. And we always make sure that we stay in the casitas. So we're literally maybe 5 to 7 minute walk to the actual lobby. So even though it is a huge resort, we're not far from the lobby or going into the tower or to the dig site, things like that. So I just find it's really nice. I do love Old Key West, though. We've rented DVC points before, and that is the ultimate sit back, lay and relax. And it is just the most chilled out resort.
How did that work for you, renting the DVC points? Because a lot of people say doing that can save you an absolute fortune.
Yeah, so we had a bit, there's caveats with it because we booked our holiday initially for 2021 when COVID looked to be going out, or we was being optimistic thinking we'll book it, hopefully it won't even be a thing in 2021 then, So I'd rented the points, but if you can't go for any reason, you've just not got, we don't have really insurance over here that kind of covers that type of issue.
Mm-hmm.
So what it is that somebody else who owns the points, they've done the booking. So we rented the points. Then it obviously came that we weren't going to be able to travel still at that point. So I had to try and re-rent. So it was through David's DVC.
Yeah.
They said, right, we've spoken, so they have to speak to, because the owner can refuse if they say, right, she can't, they can't go anymore, and they can't cancel the reservation because it's already been booked. So it's not like it can be amended.
Yeah.
So what they have to ask then is permission from the owner of the DVC if they can re-rent it. And luckily he said yes, and it was re-rented within 5 hours.
Oh, right.
So I got all back, which is good. So there is downsides to it, but I every time I kept looking for insurance to cover you if you couldn't go, I just kept getting dead ends.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't my timeshare and it was somebody else's timeshare, and there wasn't any clear cut insurance from what I could see that would cover you for if you just couldn't go.
But it was worth it when you went in the end.
Yeah, so yes. In fact, actually, the first time we went to Old Key West was we booked it through Disney, and it was on one of when you get the free dining offers.
Yeah.
And it was a really good deal. Nothing like the prices that you've seen at the minute. But yeah, we're going to hopefully rent DVC points for the next trip, but only do it for like 1 or 2 nights, just so if anything happens, then we've not lost out that much if for any reason that we can't go or if we can't re-rent the point.
Let's talk about food. Toledo, is that your favourite restaurant then, or is there anywhere else you like to eat?
No, I mean, I've got so many places, but I think Ohana is my favourite, not necessarily just for the food, because, I mean, I love the food, but every first night of the holiday, we always do a split holiday, so we'll always stay 5 or 6 nights at International Drive, do Universal and Volcano Bay and everything around there.
Yeah.
And then we'll move to Disney for like 10 nights. But every first night of the holiday in Disney, when we've checked into Disney, we do Magic Kingdom in the morning, get ready, come back, get ready, go to the Polynesian, go to Ohana's, and then after we've finished, we'll go down to the beach, get a drink from Trader Sam's, and then sit on the beach and watch the fireworks. So whereas it's probably not my favourite restaurant food-wise, it is my favourite restaurant because of just the whole evening of what we do when we go to Ohana.
And which order, when you say you did the split stay, iDrive and Disney, which order did you do? Did you go iDrive and Universal first and then Disney?
Universal first. I couldn't leave on my last night and not be in Disney.
Knowing that you've got like another few nights in Orlando and you're not going to go to Disney.
Yeah, I couldn't ever. I've looked at doing the cruise and stays before, and it just doesn't work if you don't do the cruise last because you've got all your luggage. And I was just like, I couldn't do that. I couldn't be like leaving Disney and then just go on a cruise, and then I'd have to do it the opposite way. Always leave with Disney last.
Yeah, or do the cruise in the middle and go back to Disney.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That could work.
Having lived in Orlando when you were working as a cast member, did you find any other places that are really good to visit? Obviously, people go Disney and Universal, SeaWorld, iDrive, or maybe up to Busch Gardens. Did you find anywhere else that you would recommend for people who've been a number of times?
Yeah, so you've got Celebration is really, really nice. That's nice. I mean, there's not much there, but it is a really nice place to have a drive to. And St. Augustine, going down the coast, you could drive to Miami, or we always used to rent out a Mustang and drive down to Key West if we managed to get some time. So that was really nice doing that. So it was nice being able to. There is other places that if we've got some time off that we can drive to. So I did like doing that.
Yeah.
I never went to I only did Key West, but no, that was nice. But in Orlando specifically, there's not really many places other than probably Celebration, but that's just like a really nice little picturesque village type place that you just have a little bit of a wander around.
Worth a nosy, as they say.
Yeah, very picturesque. If you wanted to send some nice, respectful pictures back home to your parents. Oh, what we've done today with this really nice little place.
Yeah, not the drinking pictures.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing, have you picked up a few tips along your time? I don't mean cash tips when you're working as a server. I mean like tips for Disney. What would you recommend? Anything you found?
Oh, I mean, I'd always say to people, you've got to, because I'm a real planner. So I will plan every single minute of our holiday, every time. I've got it. My itinerary now is the same time every time we go. I know what we're doing, what day we're doing it, and what Genie pluses we're going to get. But not everybody likes that, to do that. Some people want to be spontaneous, which I totally get. But I would just say, just do some research. Disney is such a massive holiday that as well, don't try to do everything because it is physically impossible.
Yeah.
There is even still we'll always do two we'll split the one park into 2 days. So we'll do rope drop till early afternoon and then on one day, and then further down the holiday, we'll have a chill day resort day and then go to the park at maybe the same park that we did at the beginning. We'll go there about 4:00. Do some of the rides that we've still not done, have got left, and then watch the fireworks. Because especially with young children, they can't. I saw so many mental breakdowns with parents or children when they've probably gone from rope drop to close, and it's just not fun for anybody. Nobody wants to be having to deal with meltdowns from parents or children.
Hardcore.
So just don't try and do too much because it is impossible. Maybe look into what your favourite things are in each park, a couple of things. Each pick something that you know that you want to do and prioritise them. Because then nobody then will be left disappointed. Even if that one thing that you wanted to do is 2 hours long, at least you know that if you're doing that, that's the one thing that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hayley, I'm going to give you your perfect day at Walt Disney World. Not your only day at Walt Disney World. You're on your trip. What are you putting into your ideal day? Where are you staying? Where are you going? Where are you eating? What are you doing?
Okay, so perfect day. I'd be staying at the Polynesian. We'd hop on the monorail to Magic Kingdom. Spend all day maybe not all day Magic Kingdom. Because I'm not an all day kind of person. We'd eat cheeseburger spring rolls. We'd have Dole Whip. We'd have corn dog nuggets. Splash Mountain would still be there, and we'd be on Splash Mountain. We'd do all the mountains, and then meet Mickey Mouse, because you can't go to Mickey Mouse. You can't go to the Magic Kingdom.
Even though your dad tried. It's not happening.
Yeah, exactly. But you've got to thank him for having us and letting us come to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And then we would head back to the resort. We'd have a little bit of pool time. Then we would do, like I said about the Ohana, go to Ohana, have food, have dinner there, get drinks at Trader Sam's, and then sit on the beach in one of the hammocks watching the fireworks for Magic Kingdom and the electrical pageant parade. Because I just love that. I miss the electrical parade so much. So I always make sure with the water pageant electrical parade on it, because I just love it.
So it's that perfect Magic Kingdom resort day, really, that you would have in your perfect day.
Yeah, Magic Kingdom is by far my favourite park. My daughter's is Hollywood Studios, but if somebody said, you've got 24 hours in Disney, you can't park hop or anything, where are you going? And it would be, for me, Magic Kingdom. Spend
it around Magic Kingdom. Have you got another trip planned?
So the next trip is going to be in 2025, which is so far away, but going to be a big trip. So we're doing a coast-to-coast trip, a Disney coast-to-coast.
What? Talk me through it.
Yeah. So we're going to fly to LA. We're going to start in Disneyland, and then we're going to do probably 4 nights in Anaheim, and then maybe potentially do a couple of nights in closer to Hollywood, maybe in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Just so my daughter can see Hollywood and things. She wants to see that.
Yeah.
And then fly to Orlando then for 10 nights. So I need longer to save. So it's going to be. Normally we try and do every 2 years, but this is going to be 3, just because of it being a bigger trip. We just need a bit of time to save.
Better save.
So I can't wait. It's going to be to be able to do the both parks, and I can't wait to see like the Avengers Campus and just be in Disneyland and on Pixar Pier, and I just can't wait.
And Cars Land's brilliant there. Disneyland is a fantastic place.
I know. I couldn't imagine just doing it on its own though, because it's not. I always like to be away for around 2 weeks-ish, or a tiny bit more. Like when we do Orlando, it's normally around 16, 17 nights that we do.
Yeah.
So I think I couldn't just do LA. I think LA would be way too long to do 2 weeks in. There's just not enough there.
It's too big.
But then
I
was like, sorry?
It's too big. LA is like, it's like Greater London. You think it's like London? It's not. It's like great.
Yeah.
If not even bigger. Everything is just everywhere. Everything takes like hours to get to.
So I went to Disneyland when I was 10. Was I 10? I might have been a little bit younger. But we just went straight down. We stayed on Newport Beachside, so we kind of had a day visit to LA and kind of just stood on Rodeo Drive and outside the Beverly Hills side.
Yeah,
and then
go do
was
that.
About it. Yeah, that was all we did. But then other than that, we stayed in Newport, so we was quite near to Anaheim. But we didn't really do anything else on that trip. It was just there, and I think that we moved on to like San Francisco and things. So I was like, how about we just tag it on and we do a coast to coast trip? And that was it. Then I was like, right, that's what we're doing.
She's planning.
Yeah.
And when you go back to Disney World, when you go back to Epcot and the UK Pavilion, do you go into the Rose and Crown, order a pint and go, I used to work here?
Every time. But there's still some people that work there that I work there with. So there's Holly and Gavin, they're both behind the bar. So I'll go and see them. And a couple of the like people in the back staff, like some of the assigners, so they're always still there. So they're always telling me, when are you next coming back? Come and say hi. So it's always nice to go back and see them and have a drink and just be there and look at all the lucky people that are doing that job still and not me.
Oh, well, you're a mum now. You can take your daughter to Disney World.
I know. I've said to her, she was talking about it, that she would want to do it when she's older.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm a single parent, so I was like, I'll come with you. She was like, no. And I was like, I can if I want. And she was very much telling me, no, you cannot come.
No. But you'll be there.
But she won't know, just rock up.
Yeah, just turn up.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have rented an apartment somewhere. I'm thinking if she's living in Florida for a year, so am I.
Yeah, turn up with your mini ears. Hiya, I'm here.
Yeah, I would honestly, I would literally pack up tomorrow. If somebody said there's a job, you can bring your dog, I think I would literally pack up tomorrow.
Oh, bless. Brilliant memories. Fantastic talking to you. And Hayley, have a magical day.
Oh, you too.
If you have some Disney stories to share, do get in touch on the socials at Podmagical is where we are. If you're going to be going soon, quite a nice time of year, really. The fall. A lot going on. All the Halloween activities, select nights at Magic Kingdom. You've got Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Halloween Horror Nights have started at Universal. SeaWorld have got their Howlo Scream. And, of course, we've got the Food and Wine Festival continues over at Epcot, including the Eat to the Beat concert series. Some very, very popular acts over the next week or two, including 98 Degrees and Boys to Men. Have you ever been at Epcot when Boys to Men are on? They are brilliant live. It also gets very busy, but you can do dining packages if you want to guarantee your seats for the Eat to the Beat concert series. Anybody popular that's coming up, it's probably worth doing that. You don't have to go to the expensive restaurants. Places like Regal Eagle on the day, you can get a slightly cheaper one as well that'll get you your seat there. If you're going over to Walt Disney World, here is a top tip for this episode. It's all about Genie Plus, which we don't really mention much in the top tips. If you are thinking about buying Genie Plus on the day, buy it as soon as you can. If you've decided to use it, remember it's park specific now. So make sure you know where you're going and you get your Genie Plus well before 7 a.m. on the day, because as soon as 7 a.m. hits, you need to be getting those popular selections. So if you're going to Hollywood Studios and you want to get on Slinky Dog, make sure you've already purchased Genie Plus before 7 a.m. It's available from midnight. So you've got a 7-hour window from midnight to 7 a.m. So if you're up at 6, wake up at 6, purchase Genie Plus, and then on the dot at 7, get ready to make your Genie Plus selections. If you have any top tips, maybe you want to come on the podcast and share them, or maybe you want to drop me a message and I'll put them at the end of this one. Then all you need to do is drop me a message on all the socials. We're on X and we're on Facebook and Instagram at Podmagical. Remember, brand new podcasts come out every other Friday, fortnightly podcasts. Hit that subscribe button. And if you can give us 5 stars, it really does help people find the podcast. So if you've done it before, make sure you've hit that subscribe button, hit that 5-star button. You can leave a comment as well. Nice comments are always appreciated. Thank you if you've already done that. And I'll be back in 2 weeks for more Disney World chat. Until then, please stand clear of the doors.